That's the final score. That's the win for Alabama. They advance to face Indiana in the Rose Bowl. Let's get to that hyped Bama locker room.
We have too many good players, and if you just keep fighting, you're gonna force them to make a mistake. Something's gonna happen, and just keep coming after them, play after play, and the game's gonna come back to you, and that's what happened tonight. The game came back to us, and all of a sudden we found opportunities where we could attack and go take advantage, and then more plays being made. And so this was, hopefully something we can really build off of.
Coach Grove just said he feels like what happened in the SEC championship game helped y'all come back tonight, and he kind of saw a different resolve in the team tonight. Do you feel the same way that what happened in the last time out kind of helped tonight?
Yeah, I guess we can thank you guys for that. I mean, y'all kind of wrote us off in a sort of way, so appreciate that.
How does it feel to silence the doubters and do it coming back from down 17-0 like you guys did today?
What did Kobe say? We're not done yet. That's all I gotta say.
Thought our offense was in great command. Defense, man, we got things really rolling early, and we actually were dominating, a part of the game. So some ways the same, some ways not. And then the turnovers, the penalties, the missed opportunities, the drop punt, poor punt, the missed field goals. Those the real poor penalties that we had, and then we couldn't get the stops when we needed to.
17-point comeback was the largest comeback win in Alabama's bowl and college football playoff history, and it's also tied for the third largest comeback win in any game. Just, you know what? Every day is chest day when you're Roman Harper and Alabama wins, because you just get a little chesty. Roman, what was the key sequence of plays that sparked that Bama comeback for your Tide there?
That game was, to be honest, being in the arena, that game was a tale of two totally different games and tales and stories. And so what had happened was, you look at it, Oklahoma went up 17. And then all of a sudden, Alabama was able to get that fourth down conversion right here to Latsier Brooks. A little spin move, a little extra action, and be able to get into the end zone. A great third down conversion before that early in the drive to that same player. And then right here, John Mateer. They get the ball back, 3rd and 3, you throw it downfield. Running backs are not used to catching that ball 30 yards down the field. And then all of a sudden the punt is muffed. Tim Keenan falls on it right there. I wish you'd have scooped it up, big man scoop it. And then all of a sudden you go and get a field goal. And a couple plays later, it's Alabama getting an interception, Xavier Brown getting another big-time interception. Alabama had been dominated the whole first half. And within 4 minutes of game-time action, the score was 17-17 going into the half. Alabama had all the momentum, and then from there, taking that lead back in the second half. It was a crazy game, being in that game full of emotions, the crowds, the ebbs, the flows. You got to give Alabama just a ton of credit for sticking with it and finding a way ultimately to get a big win. The first team getting a win on the road in the playoffs. Shout out to Alabama for doing that.
And now they take on the top-ranked Indiana Hoosiers out there in the Rose Bowl in the next round. As for today, though, this opening round continues. We have 3 more games today. What's the focus of Roman's harping this morning?
It's got to be right here where I'm at, man. Right here in College Station, Texas A&M taking on the Miami Hurricanes. Look, this is a game of strength on strength. Texas A&M leads the country in sacks, right? 41 on the season. Nobody affects the quarterback and gets after the quarterback better than Texas A&M, especially on third down. Well, the University of Miami, they have the best offensive line as far as protecting the quarterback in the country as well. So you got 41 sacks on the season going up against a Miami offensive line that only allows 17% pressure rate, which is number 1 in the country for that stat, which I don't get on TV much and talk about offensive line play. But Miami's fantastic in that category. Who wins that battle ultimately will have the team that wins this game. If they're able to keep Carson Beck clean, allow him to go out there and complete the ball and keep him clean where he's able to see guys, he's not forcing plays down the field, Carson Beck can eat you up, and it's going to be fantastic. The arena, the 12th man, it should be rocking here this morning.
I know their crowd is already in position for game day coming up after our show. More from this man on his show, Roman Harper, SEC Nation on the SEC Network at 10 a.m. Eastern. Thanks, Rome.
Appreciate it.
Hey, let's take things in
Bama's program history.
Can I have some more? Yes, please. 3 more CFP first-round games on tap today. Miami in College Station, noon Eastern, ABC and ESPN. Both teams in the playoff for the first time. This is their 6th ever meeting, including games in 2022 and 23, when the home team won each of those 2 contests. Tulane visiting Ole Miss, 3:30 Eastern. Both teams undergoing coaching changes. Ole Miss will be coached by Pete Golding after Lane Kiffin's departure. Golding, their new coach, while Tulane's John Summerall heading to Florida after Tulane's season comes to an end. James Madison heads to Oregon, 7:30 Eastern, where the Dukes will battle the Ducks. Oregon has won 37 straight home games against non-conference opponents. Meanwhile, James Madison will play their first ever game in the Pacific time zone. And you can bet college football playoff reporter Heather Dinich will be locked into all of it. Heather, good morning to you. Let's start Tulane JMU. Both have coaches leaving at the end of the season, both trying to pull off massive stunners today. What is the message within both programs? Let's start with Tulane.
Well, Coach John Summerall said that the last time they played Ole Miss, we played rotten and they played better. So he said he would like to see a better version of Tulane football this time. But this week he also reminded people that they had over 60 new players this season. And since the last time they played Ole Miss, they have grown in the passing game, better at the line of scrimmage against the run, and the secondary has grown up. As for JMU, Coach Bob Chesney, who was hired at UCLA, said he's been working the night shift. So he'll prepare for this game, and then he uses the time difference to prepare for taking over in LA. He said Oregon is going to test us to see if we can go toe-to-toe. They've had so many different looks Oregon has this year out of necessity, but he said that this coaching staff has prepared them for everything, but done a good job of boiling down the fundamentals of what they should be able to expect from Oregon so that they're prepared.
All right, to start the day, Miami not even sure they would be in this playoff. Now that they are, what is Coach Mario Cristobal saying ahead of a matchup against the A&M and the 12th man?
Well, Cristobal talked this week about how this team is wired, he said, to prepare for this, to stay focused and block out distractions. But there are 2 main things that they're really attacking in this game, and one is obviously the opposing quarterback, Marcel Reed. He said that he's very good at keeping his eyes downfield, finding his receivers. He has a great connection in them, and he said they've got to stay disciplined on defense or they're going to pay for it. The Aggies defense, on the flip side, is the best in the country at opposing third down conversions. And Cristobal said that one of the reasons they're so good at that is because they're so physical up front that they force teams into these third and long situations. So Miami wants to avoid that and really be effective on first and second down.
We're going to see if they can. In just a couple of hours, it's the Canes, it's the Aggies, noon Eastern on ABC and ESPN. Heather Dinich joining us this morning on SportsCenter. Thanks so much, Heather.
All right, SportsCenter rolling on just like the Tide. Roman Harper, speaking of what he made of the Bama comeback and why he's harping on a strength.
Alabama after their blowout loss to Georgia in the SEC championship. Could they match the intensity of Oklahoma? Early on, it didn't look like what we thought was going to happen. Then they overcame that and they scored 27 in a row. What did you see from the Tide in this game as they're able to overcome that 17-0 deficit?
Fortuitous bounces their way. You had the drop pass by Oklahoma's running back deep down the field, which could have been a touchdown, and that sort of got things rolling because after that, you had the block punt. And then we saw them score a touchdown, 6 points off the turnover with a pick 6. So at the end of the day, Bama got back in the groove because of a drop pass, block punt, and their defense got going. And what's crazy is because it was due to Ty Simpson's throwing the football because Bama really had no run game outside of one big run, a 30-yard game. But at the end of the day, this was all about Ty Simpson finding the groove. The offensive line did what it had to do. We talked about this, Richard, when we were watching the game. Caden Proctor, outside of maybe the third series of the first quarter, he locked in and locked down the edge and did a fantastic job, along with the rest of those guys up front, giving Simpson time to get back there and pick the defense apart.
I thought Ty Simpson was a completely different quarterback once he stopped getting pressured in the